Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 9th of April 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few of the charts that we've looked at this morning just to see how they're performing right now. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, let's quickly jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the CAC40, so the French index. Looking at this, it's quite an interesting one. You don't probably look at this one very often, but still, nevertheless, it's at a very interesting spot here right now. So again, slightly I do apologize for the amount of lines here on my chart, but still gonna keep some of these. So basically, what we're looking here for is we're looking at this level right here near the 5,445 level, which is also coinciding with the 21 EMA. So shown as the yellow line, of course, on this 4-hour chart, what you can see that the index kind of is sliding a little bit lower here. Now it's kind of testing this key, very important area here. So this 5,445 level previously acted as a good area of support here back on the 4th of April, and also acted as a key area of resistance back here on the 19th of March. So basically continue observing this level. If we see a drop below this, then yep, we could see a further continuation here to the downside. We could maybe target some of these lower levels. Now I do have this area this arrow here is a very strong one to the downside here, potentially kind of aiming for this 200 EMA. The only thing is that looking at this picture, we could try to draw an upside support line. The only problem here is that it's going to be a bit of a tentative one, so you could in a way draw something like this here, connecting the low here of the December and the lowest point of March as well. So basically we could draw something like this and aim initially for this retest of this upside support line, but again, before we can even consider any declines, we would like to see first a nice good drop below the 5,445 level first, and then yep, like I said, we'll target lower areas. For now, just continue observing this one. If this decides to reverse and starts breaking the recent highs here, let me just put those on the chart. So if it starts breaking the highs near the 5,492 level, this is where it could become interesting, and we could see a forthcoming higher high, and then the next target for us could be, of course, around the 5,500 level, but slightly above that we do have the 5,512 area. And just to kind of show you what that level was here in the past, it was not far from the highs of the 3rd of October. So in a way, of course, we could see this one as a little obstacle on the further path higher, because a very strong area of resistance is seen here near the highs of the 27th of September, and that was approximately around the 55.45 zone. So something like this, basically, which you could keep an eye on here. Again, but only in the scenario if we see a nice good push above the 5,492 level. So keep your eyes on this one. For now, it is stuck here near this area, near the 5,445, but again, we need to see a good firm break here below this level in order to kind of consider at least a small move to the downside here up until this upside support line. And again, don't get me wrong, this upside support line is still a bit of a tentative one, but in a way could play out. So that's why, guys, for now, keep your eyes on the 5,445 level. Gold, I was talking about this one this morning, and basically what's happening here is we were trading below the 1300 level initially at this morning when I was covering it. So what I was saying, guys, is to of course keep an eye on this 1297 level, because if we would see a good drop below that, then yep, we could target lower areas. But because you can see that it reversed back to the upside, managed to break the 1300 level and accelerated further to the upside. But what I was saying, guys, is to watch for this 200 EMA here, which was around the 1301. So basically we had a nice push here away from that, of course initially having a nice break here, and now it's pushing away, and now it's pushing towards the 1306-07 area, approximately there. This is our next target here, but to be honest, a much better potential area of resistance could be seen here near the 1312 zone, approximately there, which is marked by the near the highs of the 28th of March. So that's why, guys, for now, of course, looking at this picture right now, it is looking more bearish than looking more bullish than bearish. I do apologize, but again, there are some obstacles on the way here. Like I said, initially the 1307 area, approximately there, but if that's just seen as a temporary obstacle on gold's way higher, then the next one for us is the 1312 zone, approximately there. So keep your eyes on this one, guys. Very interesting developments happening here, and like I said, it is looking more bullish than bearish right now, especially given the fact that it has broken the 1300 level again and got itself above the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart here. Jumping into a few pairs, also looked at these this morning. So the EURCAD here, again, kind of balancing around this pivot. Today's pivot still kind of struggling to get above it. Of course, the day's not finished yet for EURCAD, and we could eventually see this push higher. But then again, for now, until it's kind of stuck here between these two levels here, between the 150.40 level on the upside and the 149.68 level on the downside, we will remain somewhat more neutral on this one, to be honest, and we will wait until we see a clear break either through the lower side here or the upper side right there. So like I said, the upper side here is around the 150.40 and the downside is the 149.68, because if we do see a break here below, then we could then target areas like the 149.35, or even actually going further down towards the lows that we saw here on the 1st of April around the 149 zone. So very good potential area of support, but only if we see a drop below the 149.68 level first. For now, you can see that today it already tried to do that, kind of hit that level and then reversed back to the upside. So now, of course, if some could say that it might travel higher, the only thing is for us, at least, let's say, from the very short term perspective, in order to kind of, let's say, consider at least this level here around the 150.40, we need to see a nice good push above the pivot, above today's pivot, which is around the 150 level, 1.5010 level, approximately there, and of course, for better confirmation, a nice good push above the 50 EMA here, shown as the red line, and only then we will target this 150.40, and of course we'll just take it from there and see if it actually wants to break this one or not. But for now, like I said, overall we're still somewhat neutral on this. GBPUSD, very tricky trading today. So initially, if there was some news that around Angela Merkel kind of agreeing on the Irish backstop extension, but of course, then the news came out saying that Germany is denying all this, and we saw initially the GBPUSD spiking here higher, reaching this level, this key level that I was talking about as well, this one around the 131.23 zone, and you can see that it kind of had a nice hit here and quickly retraced back down, and also hit this other key important level that we're watching is the 130.55. Of course, we did have a brief overshoot here, but you can see that the bulls are pushing this one back inside here. So as you can see by the chart, basically the chart is kind of pretty much explanatory. If we see another drop below the 130.55 level, then this is where we could start targeting the 130.15 or even the 129.75 level. So that's why, guys, of In terms of the downside, keep your eyes on this 130.55 level. In terms of the upside, well, again, we need to see a nice good firm push above the 131.25, and only then we will target areas like the 132 or even higher. So that's why for now we're also stuck here, and yep, continue observing these key levels of support and resistance. USDCHF, very interesting chart here. So from the shorter term perspective, so you can see that yes, it is climbing higher, slowly of course, traveling within this nice rising channel formation. But again, the momentum kind of slowed down recently, and you can see that the pair is kind of since kind of it peaked here on last Friday, it's like sliding a little bit lower, but again struggling to kind of have a firm move below the 0.9980 level. Of course, we did have a few undershoots here, but still kind of it's struggling to kind of stay below it. And if we finally do see this move below the 0.9980 level, of course, keep your eyes on this lower side of the rising channel formation. This is what we were going to target initially, but if that fails to withhold, certainly we could see, or shouldn't use the word certainly, but we could see a further move here towards the 0.9950 level, which marks the low of the 3rd of April, or even actually a move towards the 0.9930 zone, which is near the lows of the 1st of April. So good potential targets are here on the downside, but again, initially we need to see a nice good move below the 0.9980 level, and then we'll target the lower side of this this rising channel. Of course, if it fails to break below that, then yep, we could see the bulls kind of stepping in here and potentially driving this one back up here towards the psychological 1 level, and then maybe even higher. But again, the whole kind of action will be around the lower side of this rising channel. We'll see if it actually wants to rebound from it or not. But again, before considering this level, we need to see a nice good break below the 0.9980, and then we will, like I said, aim for the lower side of it. If this suddenly, let's say, decides not to travel below the 0.9980 level, keep your eyes on this, like I said, the psychological 1 zone. A nice good push above that could open the path towards the 1.0020, or even actually the upper side of this rising channel. So for now, that's the game plan. Certainly, like I said, keep your eyes on some of these key levels. It's very interesting to see if it actually continues to trade within this short term, I would say, rising channel formation, because overall, from the broader aspect, you can see that how well this upside support line continues to play out. So this one is running from the lows of February of last year, so still basically a nice good uptrend here. Some could even say maybe on a broader picture here, it's forming something of an ascending triangle here. But again, let's see how this is going to, of course, play out. For now, from the very short-term perspective, that's what we're looking for. This is what we're looking at as well, and let's see if this rising channel formation continues to play out. Okay, guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and if you want to join me tomorrow morning at my Trader's Espresso, and that's 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.